So now what we're going to do is to actually build the post component. We now have access to what is inside the Firebase collection, okay, and the storage, and we can create new posts fetching these tags. We will add some more later, and yeah, so it's time to actually get the information here. I'm consoling on, okay, component TS18, all the observables. So let me just make component TS, make component TS18. Okay, so this is the observable. Just remove that. And let me just close the styles. All this is done. So let's go to post, and we already have the function that fetches the individual post. So we're going to structure this, okay, so we can actually use that function. So we are here in the post component. Let me close the main. We're going to need this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this, and let's double click on the HTML. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, so let's keep it like this. Okay, so we have the three components that we're going to use because we still need some functionality here. But let's just fetch this and create the component. That is going to take a bit because it's a big component. It's going to have the edit and the delete functionalities. So I'm just going to copy some imports. Okay, the first one is the Firebase service, okay, that we're going to use, and the activator route and router. Although we can define the, we already have the router defined in the other, in the service. Okay, so you can actually use the router here instead of here. So you can do it however you want. Let's import on line 4 our form group, form control, and validator. So let's see if we already have that on the module. Yes, on the post module we have reactive forms. We're only importing that. Okay, so that open, nice. Okay, so this is coming from React Forms, no, from Angular Forms. This is only going to work for the reactive forms. So let's go, and we need to import something. So let's add a little space in here that this is our model. We need our model, and I'm going to just copy this because this is just for the constructor. I'm going to paste this, the Firebase service, just to keep my namings, the route from activate the route, and the router that is going to navigate us. Okay, although this one, as I said, we already have this in the Firebase service, so you might just use it here inside the functionality, okay, inside your functions. Now we are going to define, so this is going to be not, well, yeah, it has a lot of functionality. So we're going to do define first or variables. So let's say public current post. This is going to be type post. The next one is going to be the current ID, type any, that this is coming from this, that route, okay, that snapshot param. So this route, remember that is the activated route that we are using. We are going to get the ID that is inside the URL using the snapshot param map and get the ID. So it's going to check for all the parameters that we have and get the specific one we call here, that is the ID. But this is going to match what we have on our routes, okay, this. So in case you have a problem there, you need to match those two. Now we're going to use a button that enables the edit mode. So we're going to say edit mode it's going to be a boolean and it's going to start as false. Now the next one is the post tags, that this should be an array, but let's just keep it like that. It's type any, so it's going to work anyways. So the tags is an any array. We're just defining things here, okay? The active tags, okay, because we're going to check which tags we already have. It's going to be an array, okay, an empty array. And we are going to also define the not active tags that we don't have in the post and define that as an array. We're going to check that inside the service. The image, we're going to handle the image. We need to be able to update the image, and this BC that is going to allow us to change the state of the application in order to show or not specific things. Now let's add some spacing there. I'm going to copy this. Okay, this is just a set of the form. We don't need to check this. In case you're new with Angular, well, you should take a look at how this is done. But this is just simple. We're importing here form group, form control, and validators. Okay, this is just a simple way to add the form. You're going to say the name of the form you want, and you're going to use this inside your HTML. We're going to do that in a second. So we're going to define title, content, alt cover, add tags, and remove tags. Okay, inside this form. Okay, that this is a form group. The starting value is going to be empty for all of this, but we're going to add the values as we fetch the individual post. So all these are going to be required just to have the validators, okay, in case we want to restrict some actions in the form. Now we're going to do this. Okay, we still are not going to add this inside the HTML. We're going to add it in a second, but remember that we have a function. So let's say public async get post where am I? Okay, this is going to call this that Firebase service. Okay, let's say this that current post is going to be equal to the await of this that Firebase service that get post. No, get post no, because that's an observable. This that current ID. So the current ID, we're getting that from the URL, and since this is returning, okay, let me see, that's the get post. Okay, this is returning this current post, okay, because we are subscribing to this inside the promise and waiting for all this to be done, and we're going to return the current post. That's why we are not going to use the stream, but the actual promise that it returns, the actual value. But after this, we need to do something that we still don't have inside our service. That is how we're going to get the tags name. Because remember that we are able to add and remove tags, okay? And we're going to display the tags, but we need to get all the tags in order to display and to change which one or which tags are active and which tags are not active. Okay, so let's go to the service, and we're going to add a new function that is going to be, okay, a service let's add it maybe below this. Yeah, why not? So this one is going to be public async get tax name. So this is going to be this is going to have tax array any. Okay, just give me a second to check something inside my posts. Is okay. So now we're fetching the old tax here, right? Yeah, because that's the thing. First thing I'm just checking that we have this, okay? Because I just got lost. So yeah, let's continue with this. So this should work. So now let's say let current post, sorry, current tax, okay, equals to tax array. So this is going to come from the component. Okay, it's kind of the correct indentation. Now we're going to say let tax or let all tax equals to an empty array. This is going to handle the tax, and we're going to do something here. Okay, so we want to have the tax array. The tax array is going to come from the component. You will see that in a second. So what we're going to do now is to create a new promise, await a new promise resolve, and this is a function. So we're going to do something. We're going to call this that collection. Sorry, this is that Firestore, that collection. We have the tax collection, and we're going to do something here. We're going to say the reference is going to be or this is going to allow us to order by the name and the snapshot changes, okay, to actually get information. And here we're going to use pipe. We're going to take the first part or the first stream, and we're going to map those changes. So this is going to be changes. This is similar to what we did here, but you can see that we only return the tags, all the tags, but we need to actually do something with the tax array we already have that we are receiving from the component. So we're going to say let underscore tags equals to an empty array, and for changes that for each. So remember that this is just fetching all the tags, okay, and this contains the observable that contains all the tags, okay, and we're going to loop through that. Let's call it T. So we're going to do something here, okay. If here we can manipulate information, okay, so this is going to use what we have defined on line 121 and 122 to manipulate what we're going to return from this promise. And well, I hope this doesn't get that complicated. We did this before with the other things, so we're just manipulating information, and this changes is just the document that is returning, okay, with all the tags. So if we have current tags, that is the tags that we are going to receive. Okay, that includes, we're going to use includes here, t.payload that document that ID. You remember that? Okay, let me just come here and go to Firebase. You remember that we're using the ID. Okay, so let me show you. We're storing the ID of the tags inside the post. Okay, not the tags in themselves, but just the ID. So okay, we have this. So let's go to database. So we're storing the array inside these tags. Okay, this is an array. So these are the IDs, not the tags. Just to show you that, let's minimize this and let's continue. So if current tags, meaning that the tags that we're going to get, we will see that in a second. We're kind of blind there, but we will see that how it works. Okay, have the ID. Now this is going to show you that as we've been doing, manipulating information inside the stream, this is going to take the stream and manipulate, map to those changes, to those documents. Again, check for those documents, okay? And for each document, we're going to check is if the ID that we're going to check for those changes are actually the tags and are these documents, okay? The IDs contain, or better said, if what we're going to return, that is all the tags contain the ID, because we're going to receive tags with ID. Okay, we're going to see that in a second, just to get all this information there so I can explain a little better. So this one is going to be tags, okay, that push. So here we're going to say ID t.payload that document that ID. Now we're going to add the rest, that is t that payload that document that data, that this is the data, okay, and we're going to add something here that is the status of true, meaning that if the array we receive contains the ID that matches a document in this set of documents, we're going to set the status true, because it means that we are getting an active tag. Okay, so we will explain that in a second. So I'm just going to do this. So for this two, it's going to return, it's going to check for the ID that matches these IDs. Okay, that is what is going on, and we're going to return the name and append a status to this. So in this case, it's going to return, it's going to check, okay, we have these two, so it's going to be true and true on what we're going to return, and for this one that it only has one, it's going to say, okay, we have this one, I think, so it's going to be true and false. Okay, that is how we're going to check which tags are available inside the posts. So all this inside this stream, okay, that is returning the snapshot changes. So else we're going to say tags is the same, we're going to push this with a different status, so it's going to be t.payload that document that ID. Now add t.payload that document that data, and since we are not seeing this ID of the document inside the array that we are going to receive. Then we say status, not status, but status, what the hell, is a false. Okay, so this is kind of a different manipulation. Remember that we were just adding inside those arrays, where we were creating just arrays and returning that, just to show you that we were able to manipulate information that is inside this stream using the pipe and the map. So now we're going to, or we are doing a real manipulation that is checking if something that is coming from outside, that you will see what this is returning, is something that is coming from the outside and matches something that we have inside this stream. So after that, we're going to say here, return, this should be it, return tags. That is this tags that is going to have objects with a status either true or false. And remember that this is still the pipe, and we need to subscribe to actually get this information. So subscribe, and we are going to receive this underscore tag. So let's keep the naming there, and you are going to return all tags, okay, to the outside equals to tags, to underscore tags. That is the array with the mutated information. So let's add a semicolon there, just for good luck. Here, and from this, okay, let's actually resolve, because we need to resolve this, okay, to say it's done, the promise is done. We're going to return all tags. That's why we define it here outside, okay, so we can return that, we can mutate it or add whatever we want inside the subscription and return that. So it now is populated, and we can return that to the outside. So let's save this, and let's go back to the post component. So just give me a second, because it's kind of okay. So we are here, a async get post. We're awaiting for all the posts, and we're going to do something here. That we have something that is called post tags, that is going to use await this that Firebase service that get tags name, that is the function we just received, okay, we just created, and we have this current post. So this current post is going to return the information of the post, but we want to do something with that, okay, since we are doing that in this we could also subscribe to this and do all this manipulation, but I just wanted to keep all that inside the service. So that current post is going to have something that you can see that we are getting something, okay. Since this is type post, we can access the tags that is inside this current post. So let me say console.log, so you can see what is returning. This that current post, and we're going to say, so let's actually do this. We need to call this inside our engine init. So this that get post. This is a function. It's not receiving anything because we're handling everything inside that function. Okay, that's why I defined everything outside. So let's save that and let's see. So we are receiving, for some reason, 3 things. Okay, not for some reason because I'm consoling everywhere. So you can see it's the same information. So let me just go to service 102 and 108. And to remove that, because sometimes it's 102 and 108, right? 102, okay, because I'm consoling the post here, and 108, okay, it's just the same. Let's save that, and we should only get the console that is on post component ts story 8. Post component, okay, is this one. So you can see that this is returning the information of the post, and we are receiving this tags array, so we can check, and this is what we're going to send. Okay, this is the tags. So this is actually what we're sending here. Remember that get tags array is going to receive an array. So let's go back, and now I hope this makes sense. So this tags array, okay, is actually the information that is coming from the post and the tags property inside that. So if we go to the other one, we're going to see that it's only it has only one tag, meaning that it's going to check only one ID. Okay, so after that, after we receive this, here inside the stream of information, inside the observable, we're going to define if we are getting this. Okay, that's why I said, because this one has the two tags we already have, it's going to return true and true, and for this one it's only going to return true for the one that it finds, the one that we are fetching from the tags, and is checking if that ID from all the tags. Okay, we can also add, well, we will add some tags later. So is checking from that document ID for the tags, okay, and returning a status true or false if we have the same tags in the array. I hope that makes sense. So let's do this, and let's continue now in order to display the information. So we're going to do something here, that is this that post tags that map. We're going to map through this. Just add it t, and if so, we are going to actually get the tags array. Remember that we are setting this return all tags. So let's actually go and console that log, because I forgot to do this, so you can see what we are returning. So let's save this. This isn't saved, so this should work. Okay, so you can see that we have only one tag, that is the one that is going to match that is going to return a status true, and the one that is going to not be included in the array is going to return a status of false. So that is what is going on there. So we're going to check if t status, okay, is equals to true. Now we have a mutated array that we can check for the status. So we're going to say this that active tags that push. So that's why we define the active the tags that has the true status, that have the true status, are going to be added inside this active tags, and we're going to use that in a second. And else, if they have false, we're going to say this that not active tags, because we don't have those tags inside the array. We're going to push this inside this not active tags, and we're going to do some styling there using this. Well, at this moment we're just going to do that. And now we're going to call this that edit form. We still don't have that edit form added inside the component. We still don't have anything added here, but we will add that in the next video because this is getting kind of complex. So just to avoid adding information that could mess your ideas. So we're going to set values, sorry. This form right now has no value, okay, because we don't want to add the values right away, but we want to wait until we fetch the component, I mean the post, and we're going to do this. Title, this that current post, that title, not text but title. We are receiving this intelligence because we created the post TS. Okay, so it's we are mapping. We are not mapping. We're setting this to be a post. Okay, so we can check where is it. We're using the post interface to be this current post. Okay, to have that, so we can check actually the properties that are inside that interface. So that's why we're getting the intelligence that content. In case you don't use or you don't want to use an interface, you just call it like this. Okay, and that's just that. It's going to give you the correct values. So all cover is going to be this that current post that cover, because we're going to mark this as an all cover in case the user wants to a text is going to be just an empty array, and remove tags is going to be also an empty array. We're going to fill this as we edit the values. And what else we could do here? So let's save this. We're not showing anything, so let me check the time. 32. So let's see if we can add something else here. We're going to copy just the same things that we had. The public handle input that is going to handle the file. Okay, I copied that, but it's not on my clipboard. Okay, so this is going to get the image or files from the input type file. We're going to, because this is just well, let's add it so you can see. Public enable edit. We are going to handle all this functionality we can handle here, and we are going to use that later in the component. So we're going to say this that edit mode, that we have something that is going to enable us to change between the form or between a button. Sorry, after we click a button, to check if this is enabled, so we can toggle the edit form. So this is going to be if edit mode is true, when we click, we're going to set the edit mode into the opposite. Okay, so that's the only thing that we're going to do there. And here after this we are going to handle the edit, but we don't have that. Okay, so let's add, actually, because this is going to get a little, I'm going to do something here so I don't forget this that Firebase service that get all tags. We want to get all the tags, then tags is going to be this that tags equal to tags. So we are going to check we're going to receive all the tags inside here. So let me see if I'm missing something. No. Okay, so let's save this and actually display the information, because we're not displaying anything. So this is going to be a section. This is going to take a little bit more. So let's say a section and let's add this div class current post, and we're going to say ng if current post. The current post is what we have defined here, that is going to receive the post and set it. Okay, so it's this one. So we're going to check if we have that, else I'm going to say loading, because this is going to be a template. So now we can access the information source, and this is going to be current post that cover and h2 current post that title and p with class content is going to have the current post that content. So let's see what we're getting there. Okay, you can see we're getting the image and we're getting the information, but we're not receiving the tag, so we're going to add that in a second. So let's say div class tags, and we're going to add the styling here, I think. In this video, I mean, div class tag, not track, but tag. ng4 let tag of post tags. So post tags again, okay, is the tags that we're receiving. ng, we're going to add ng. Why did I say ng? Is sorry, paragraph, and it's going to have this ng class, and we're going to set or define some classes here. So it's going to have this object, and it's going to say active tag that status equals true. We're going to use the class active if the status of the tag is true, and comma say not active if the status or tag status, sorry, tag status, just like that, if it's false. And here we're going to use the tag name. So this should be it. Let's save this. Okay, we are getting these tags, but I'm going to add the styling for that. Let me go to style. I forgot okay, but you can copy this just to get some styling, and I'm going to copy the tags. That is tags, tag, not active, and active. Control C, Control V. So you can actually follow this. Okay, so it's tags, tag, active, not active, active and not active. Okay, defining the different colors. Let's save this and let's see what we get. Now you can see that this one, because we're receiving only, okay, the tags. So this one, okay, we can see here, because this is the one what we are getting, it only has one, so one is only going to be marked as active given this color. And if we go to the other one that has the two, you can see that this returns an array of 2, so it's going to mark all those as active. Okay, as I said, you can add some functionality here with the active tags. So when you click, you fetch something, and I mean, you fetch the posts that contain that tag, and add it in another component. So it's similar to what we have been doing. So now we have this little tags system, kinda, although it's just displaying only the color, this blue color, on the tags that are active inside this post, that are actually selected. So I think I'm going to finish this video, or to stop the video here, because we still have some things to do. And yeah, so see you on the next one.